Morning and welcome to Daf Yomi Maseches Chagigah Daf Zayin number 7. I just want to let you know that you should tune into this shir for sure, the Daf Yomi shir, because it's the main part. It's a whole daf, and it's nice to learn a daf of Gemara every day. It's more than every other yeshiva in the world. So you should know if you're learning Daf Yomi, you're learning more quantitatively than every yeshiva in the world on a daily basis, far more. Most yeshivas, I was in a yeshiva, they learned an Amud a day, but that was only 5 days a week. Plus they stopped for Chazaras, so maybe a whole year they would learn 80 blot of Gemara. Here you're learning 365 dafim of Gemara a whole year, quantitatively 5 times the amount. And if you're worried that maybe in yeshivas they're learning qualitatively better, the answer is no way, because tune in to Eat with Ben Sion. Today I really hit upon a big chiddush, a huge chiddush in Maseches Chagigah. I don't think there's too many Ians for him written on Maseches Chagigah, which makes it even more important to listen to this. I tested this chiddush on some of the Avreichim, Chashuvei Avreichim, who learn here in the shul, who learn a different kol, learning a much easier Masech than Maseches Brachos, and they were astonished by this chiddush. And just to get a chiddush like that every day, Maseches Chagigah, where no Sfarim have been written on this, and to get a new chiddush every day, and probably I'm going to try to do it under 8 minutes. The most it'll be is 10 minutes, let's say. You can't get this anywhere else. I'm sorry. I don't know why people are not subscribed to my channel. I don't know why people are not listening to the whole share, to everything I say. Not because I'm high on myself. I just produce good stuff. So listen, you have to love yourself. All right, the most important person to love in the world is yourself. More than Hashem. You should love yourself. All right. The Gemara said, because that's what Hashem wants. Hashem wants you to love yourself. The Gemara says in the bottom of Vavam Beis, the last line, Tana Hassam, we learned over there, Mishnah and Peyos, and Peya, Eluz Varam Shein Lehem Shir, certain things, there's no Shir. We're going to see both no minimal Shir and no maximum Shir. Peya, Vabikurim, you can kind of have Peya Midoraisa, even with a small amount in your corner of your field, or a large amount of Vabikurim. When you bring Bikurim, Bikurim are the first fruits of the Zion Minim in Eretz Yisrael. You bring them to the Yisrael Migdash, give to the Kohen. Even there's no minimum shir, no maximum shir of our rayon. This is relevant to our Masech, the Olas Re'iyah. This is referring to a Re'iyah. We'll see a korban or just appearing in the base of Migdash. That is the subject. That was the subject. The first shir and the second shir, and we'll delve into that much more in this third shir. There's Ian shir about this. There's no minimum shir or maximum shir to the amount of chesed you want to do. Again, Gemilas Chadim, I just want to emphasize, is not chesed. There's a confusion nowadays between the word chesed and Gemilas Chasadim. Everyone thinks you're supposed to be doing chesed with your time. There is no basis in the Torah to do chesed for no reason. Be truly altruistic. That's not what the Torah wants you to do. The Torah wants you to do Gemilas Chesed. Gemilah means to pay back a chesed. If someone did something nice for you and helped you out, you have to make sure to repay them for that chesed. It's part of being fair in life, right? If someone does a service for you and they do it for free, they babysit your kids, they change your tire, they do whatever they need to do, they give you a dinner, you have to try to repay them. That's Gemilas Chesadim. That's important. The Talmud Torah and learning Torah, there's no minimum share and there's no maximum share. It depends how much time you have. That was another share. You can see on, check it out on Daf. Hey, I'm Rabbi Yochanan Kasfur, not a Lomar. So now we're back to our Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan says, we thought to say, Harayon ein lo shir l'ma'ala. This Mishnah means there's no shir for Rayon, for spending on a korban, all this Ra'iyah, l'ma'ala, or coming to the base of the as many times as you need to. On the regel, you can come as many times as you want. But yesh lo shir l'ma'ata. But there is a minimum shir. There's no shir, even minimum shir, even a small animal, a cheap animal you can bring for a korban. According to Beis Hillel, we say the Re'iyah, the korban olas Re'iyah, should be a ma kesef, I would say $100. Chagigah shtei kesef, the Chagigah has to be for you, it's for you to enjoy, it has to be at least $200. Ma rayon What is Ra'ayon that we're talking about in this Mishnah? Rabbi Yochanan Amar Riyas Panim Ba'azara. He says it simply means that you have to come to the Azara on the Yom Tov. Reish Lakish Amar Riyas Panim B'Korban. He says when you come to the Azara, you have to bring a korban. And this seems eerily familiar to the Machlokas between Rashi and Tosos we were talking about on Daf Beis. We'll see in the Gemara exactly go through this because the Gemara really talks about this, and once we have the Maskana, I'll be able to clarify the Shita of Rashi and Tosos a little better. Bikar HaRegel, so the Gemara says, the first day of the Regel, according to this, Yikad Amri in the Gemara, everyone agrees, and Rabbi Yochanan agrees, you have to bring a korban. If you come during Chol Moed, or the last day of the Regel, everyone agrees that if you bring a korban, the remaining days of the Moed, we would accept the korban. You come and you don't bring a korban. The rest of the Moed, if you come, you don't have to bring a korban. Whenever you come to the base of Mikdash, you have to bring a korban. Rish Lakish asked the question of Rabbi Yochanan following Brisa. Hashem says when you come to the Regel, you shouldn't be empty-handed. Sounds like you have to bring a korban. That's talking about the whole Regel. Amar lei be'ikar Regel. So Rabbi Yochanan says that Brisa is talking, and the pasuk is talking about only the first day of the Regel. Another question. The Brisa says it's talking about animals. You might think you could even bring a bird, or you can bring a korban mincha, flower offering for your olas riyah. It makes sense. Nemra Chagigah, that it has to be an animal. Nemra Chagigah lehedyo, Nemra riyah legavoa. Talks about there's two important korbanos you have to bring: Shalmi Chagigah and olas riyah. So Chagigah is supposed to be for you, Shalom, and riyah is supposed to be for Hashem. Mara Chagigah hamura lehedyo. Zvachim, just like Chagigah is actually an animal, for Iya Amur Legavoa Zvachim, so too by Chagigah it has to be an animal, Behema, Mahin and Zvachim. And what type of, the Brisa continues, what are the animals? You have to bring Olos, that's the type of korban is an Ola that goes up to Shamayim completely. Atamar Olos Ola Shlamim. Maybe you'll say that also for the Olos Riyah, or the Shlosh, it should be a Shalmi Riyah. In which case the Bailim could partake of the korban. But logically not that way. Nemra Chagigah lehedyo, Nemra riyah legavoa, right? It says Chagigah by a hedyo. It says Bashalmi Chagigah, and riyah is legavoa. It says Lo yarao pene rekam. It says Hashem talks about the riyah being for him. Ma Chagigah amur lehedyo baroylo. Chagigah is something fitting for a hedyo. Afriya amur legavoa baroylo. It has to be something fitting for Hashem. So only an animal is considered a chashuv thing, an important thing. It makes sense also that should be an animal, it should be an ola. So it should, the shulchan of Hashem shouldn't be empty while your shulchan is full of meat. Amalei. So anyway, you see from this Bryce again that you should bring a korban. He concedes you do have to, but it's only talking about Ikar HaRegel, and that's what Rabbi Yochanan said. The first day you have to bring a korban. The rest of them are not. Esivei Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda Omer, another Brisa Rish Lakish asked from. Because Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Shalosh Regalim B'Shanim Mitzvah Shalas B'Regel. 3 times during the year you have to make Aliyah Regel. B'Chag HaMatzos, B'Chag HaShulos, B'Chag HaSugos. We know the 3 Regalim. Ein Nira and Chatzoin. You can't come halfway, or you can't come in parts, partial groups. We'll see what that means soon, later on. You can't come without a korban. So again, it says you have to bring a korban. Amar lei, again, Rabbi Yochanan answered his famous answer, Be'ikar HaRegel, what the Bryce is talking about, the first day of the Regel, which he agrees to. It's time to ask Rish Lakish. It says, V'lo yiro panei rekam. You shouldn't be seen by Hashem empty-handed. But it's also written, Yira, we can read it. Ksiv, Kri is, you shouldn't appear in front of Hashem. Yira, that you should see Hashem. Mani b'chinam, afatem b'chinam. We learn the comparison between Hashem and you, just like I come to see you without giving you anything. Hashem comes empty-handed, so to speak, or comes b'chinam for free. Afatem b'chinam, you could also come for free. It sounds like you don't have to bring a korban. So this is a strong question. And the Gemara concedes that Rish Lakish is at a loss. Rish Lakish says that every time you come on the Moed, you have to bring a korban. Here it says, B'chinam, you can come for free. So the Gemara says Ella. This is important. Ella. The Gemara reverses its decision. Seemingly, the Gemara goes back on its original assumption. Everyone agrees if you come to the Beis Hamikdash, you can come mischazi v'nafik, appear and nafik. Now, nafik can mean two things. It means to leave, or it means you're yotze. Nafik, you're yotze, you're chova. We'll see in a second the two ways of understanding it based on two ways of explaining. One way explaining Rashi, one way explaining Tosos. That will be in the Yud Ben Sina. Assume we're going to assume now the way Tosos learns that in the seemingly Pashup Pshat in the Gemara is that it means that everyone agrees that if you come to the Beis Hamikdash, you can come empty-handed and just leave. Ki pligi come v'chinam. Ki pligi the asav aisi. The Machlokas in Yochanan and Rish Lakish is talking about if you came and you decided to bring a korban. Yochanan amar rias panim azar rias panimu de ein lashir halakorban yesh lashir. When it says rayon ein lashir, that's talking about coming to the Beis Hamikdash. But if you decide to bring a korban, halakorban yesh lashir, the korban itself does have a shir. And the shear is according to Beis Hillel, it's a ma'ak kesef, $100. Rish Lakish argues on Rabbi Yochanan. He of course agrees that you can come, you don't have to bring a korban. He says Riyas panim b'korban, that feel korban nami in lashir, that Riyah normally refers to if you choose to, if you bring a korban, if you choose to, you want to bring a korban. That feel the korban nami ein lashir. A korban is included in rayon of the Mishnah and Peah. It has no shir midoraisa. You can bring even an animal worth $1 you bought at the flea market, but midorabanan, of course, he would agree it has a shir, like the Mishnah says. Esive. You bring a question from a brayso. Hoka raglecha mi beis re'echa. So, according to another question, there's a question on Reish Lakish. Hoka raglecha mi beis re'echa. Hokar means yakar, meaning you should not come to the Beis Hamikdash often. And you shouldn't bring karbanos. You shouldn't bring so many karbanos to Hashem. Hashem doesn't want you to bring karbanos. So the Gemara says, Hasam b'chatos v'ashamos. The Gemara there is talking about the question really was because the Gemara is saying that fil karbanami ein lo shir. I'm going to go back for a second. I did make a little mistake over here. Ki pligi, let's go back 2 lines. Asav Aisi. He decided to bring a car. Yochanan Rias Panam Azar, Rias Panam with the Ein Lashir, Yesh La Karban, Yesh La Shir, meaning there's a maximum share for the korban. You can only bring a korban once during the regular, once for the regular. You could bring many karbanos. When you come to the Beis Hamikdash, you can bring many karbanos. You can bring a korban every day. For so now the Gemara asks, that you should make yourself scarce from coming to Hashem. You shouldn't bring so many karbanos. So the Gemara says, Hashem was there. The pasuk is talking about when you sin, you bring karbanos. When you sin, you bring karban chatas or an asham. These are different types of sins that you do. So you shouldn't. The Torah doesn't want you to sin and bring karbanos. Because the Rebbe Levi Rami had 2 psukim which simply contradicted each other. It says you should make yourself yakar. It should be precious when you come. You shouldn't come a lot. You shouldn't bring a lot of karbanos. Another pasuk says you should come with olos. Seemingly, it's a good thing to come with olos. Lo kasha. Kam chados ve'asham is kam olos. Shlamim. Olos and shlamim are brought as the darab and davos when you vow to bring a donation to the Beis Hamikdash. So those things are good. Chados ve'asham are not good. That's what it's talking about when you karbanos for sins. Maybe it's talking about it says, I'll come to your house, to the Beis Hamikdash olos, shalom l'chanadarai. I'll pay to you my nadar, my vows. How olos shalom emor? See, olos shalom are talked about. How many makayim hokar agam beis re'echa? Chatos ve'ashamos kasim medaber. The Torah is talking about chatos ve'ashamos. The Torah doesn't want you to sin, and therefore bring korban chatos. The Brayso above said also in a cryptic line, you don't come partially. In groups. Rav Yosef thought the interpretation of the Brayso was that if you have 5 sons, 10 sons, you shouldn't bring 5 the first day, 5 the second day, bring them all the first day. That's the intention of the Brayso. So Abaye said to Rav Yosef, Pshita, you need a Brayso to tell me this. There's a reason. Tabu Zayam and Bez over here, by bringing 5 the first day and 5 the second day, some of your children you're gonna make zris, and you're gonna make them right. Zris and makdim is you're supposed to try to do mitzvahs as quickly as possible, and you're gonna make the people who come the second day, the sons who come the second day, you make them poshem, because the people that are lazy, the layers. El Akrolamai, also what is it talking about? It says the Acherim's teaching, or Meir's teaching, Tanya Acherim Omrim, Hamakamet, Mitzaref, Nechosh, Apursi, Psurim, and Ariyah. People that collect garbage, I would say, Mitzaref, Nechosha, someone who's a blacksmith or a coppersmith, a Borsi, someone who is a tanner, he tans leather, they're potter from Kanariya, Shnamar Kol Zechorcha. It says the word Kol, all your male members of Klal Yisrael. Mishiyachal alasim Kol Zechorcha. The drush is, it has to be someone who can come with everybody, come with other people. Yatu Elo She'en Yachal Alasim Kol Zechorcha. They can't come with regular people because they smell bad. No one's going to want to be next to them, so therefore you have to have derech eretz and not come with these people, so therefore you're potter. Mishnah says, Olos b'moed bos menachulin v'ashlam min ha'maiser. Olos, korban ola. We'll see. This is talking about referencing olos riyah. It has to come, b'moed bos menachulin. It has to come from chulin. There's a din. Kol davar shebachol v'ein abalam menachulin. Anything which you're obligated, a korban which you're obligated to bring, it has to come from money that wasn't supposed to be used, earmarked for something else, like Meiser Sheni money or Meiser Behema. You can't use something that's already has Kedusha to pay off something which is a Chova. It has to come from Chulin, it has to come from something which is not Kadosh yet, as opposed to Kol Davar, it's not Bechova, it's an Adava, it's a voluntary offering that you could use money that's already earmarked for kedusha. The shlamim min ha-meiser. Shlamim can come from the meiser sheni. Shlamim, what this is talking about, shalmei simcha. We'll see. So shalmei simcha has to cut. It's only a simcha. It's not considered davar shebachov. It's only to make you happy, so it can come from money that's meiser sheni. You could porei your chov, pay off your. It's not really a chov. It's really shlamim is not really exactly a chova. Yom tov rishon shal Pesach, the first day of Pesach, b'shamay obrim Minachulin, it's Hillel Omer Min HaMeiser. Talk about Shamay Chagigah over here. And the first day of Pesach, Shammai says it comes from Minachulin, it's Hillel Omer Min HaMeiser. This is going to be problematic. The Gemara is going to ask how could Beis Hillel say Shamay Chagigah is a davar shebachova? How could it come from Meiser? It has to come from Minachulin. Yisrael Yotzim Nechavasim Medarim Medavos of Meiser Behema about Kohanim. Now this brisa is cryptic over here. Yisrael Yotzim Nechavasim Medarim Medavos of Meiser Behema. What is it talking about? So I think Rashi says over here it's talking about Shalmei Simcha. Like we said before, Shalmei Simcha is not called the davar shebachova, because here it's saying, the Mishnah is saying clearly they can be also their chova within the Daram and Davos, animals that were previously you set aside for karbanos. You can use them for Shalmei Simcha. Meiser Behema again has kedusha, one out of every 10 animals. You have to take the Meiser Behema, but Kohanim, and you eat it in Yerushalayim. Kohanim chatos v'hashamat tuchor ruchaz v'shok. Kohanim, they could fulfill the Shalmei Simcha with chatos v'hashamos. They get portions from a korban chatos and asham that they offer on the mizbeach b'chor. They also get the b'chor, the firstborn animal goes to the Kohanim chaz v'shok. From the shlamim, they get the ribs and they get the thigh. Avaloba ofos ulam menachos. It can't be yotze with olos menachos, because olos ofos menachos, birds and menachos don't bring you simcha. Flour doesn't bring you simcha, and the meat, chicken, does not bring you simcha. Contrary to some people think that you can put chicken in the challah. You can't put chicken in the challah and then bring you simcha, and you'll have no simcha on Shabbos. All right, the Gemara says olos b'moed hu debos menachulin. The Gemara makes the diak in the Mishnah. It says olos b'moed. Moed is reference to chol moed hu debos menachulin. Habi yom tov min ha-meiser. It sounds like from the Mishnah. And yom tov, you could bring your olos, your ola re'iyah, min ha-meiser. Amai davar shevachova hi v'chol davar shevachova in a bal menachulin. We know from a Mishnah menachos. It has to come menachulin. V'chid tema hakamash plan the olos b'moed bos b'yom tov einan bos. Maybe you'll tell me the Mishnah is telling me that olos you can bring a chol moed. On yom tov you can't bring. That's the chiddush of the Mishnah. Nothing to talk about whether bam in achulin or not. You can't bring olos on Yom Tov. Come on, Beit Shammai. That would be according to only the opinion of Beit Shammai. That's not Beit Shammai. Omrim mevi and shlamim ve'ein som p'nalein of Allah olos. As the Gemara in Beitza says that Beit Shammai says you can only bring karban shlamim on Yom Tov because the karban shlamim is eaten by people, and therefore it's considered the shchita and whatever you do to bring the korban is a necessity for Simchas Yom Tov. So you're allowed to do the malacha for Simchas Yom Tov. But you can't bring olos, that goes to gavoa. You're not getting a simcha of that. Still allows you to bring korban olos on Yom Tov, as long as the olos riyah is the right day for bringing it. It's the day you're supposed to bring it. And you're allowed to be so mechal. So the Gemara says, we have to rearrange the Mishnah. We have to put extra words in it. Olos the daram the davos the moed bos Yom Tov and bos. If the olos are voluntary offerings and not olos riyah, so that even Beis Hillel agrees that they only brought on Kol HaMoed, not on Yom Tov, because only the olos riyah has to be brought on the first day. Regular olos, voluntary offerings, can be brought during the moed. You're not allowed to bring them. Olos riyah ba fil b'yom tov. Olos riyah, Beis Hillel agrees that you bring it even on Yom Tov. Shiba in a bal menachulin. And now we're adding these words. It has to be menachulin. It has to come from the chulin. And talking about olos riyah on the first day, not olos b'moed. Shami Simcha boin af min a meiser b'Chagigah. Shami Simcha come even from meiser. It's not a davar shebachova. Shami Simcha b'Chagigas. Yom Rishon Shal Pesach. Beit Shammai Omrim Shami Chagigah brought on the first day of Pesach. Also brought on the first day of Shavuos and Sukkos. Beit Shammai Omrim Menachul. And Beit Hillel Omrim na meiser. Beit Hillel allows you to bring from a meiser. We'll see in the Gemara on Daf It and Aleph. The Gemara not exactly, as long as part of the money is minachulin and part is minha kedusha, minha meiser, that would be okay as long as you combine the money. Tanya Nabi Haki, olos nedarim and davos of a moed bos biyom tov inan bos. Raisa says like this: olos nedarim and davos, non-obligatory olos. You can bring them a chol moed, and you can't bring on Yom Tov. Olos riyah be afilu b'av he'll be Yom Tov. It could. Olos riyah could be born on Yom Tov because that's the most appropriate time to bring the olos riyah. Shiba, when it comes in a balam and a chulin, like because it's davar shebachova, it can only come from chulin money. V'shami simcha boin up in a meiser. Shami simcha could brought even meiser. Chagigas Yom Tov Rishon Pesach. B'shami omrim in a chulin. Beis Hillel omrim in a meiser. Like we said before, Beis Hillel allows you to bring it even in a meiser as long as it's a combination of money. Meiser chagigas Yom Tov Rishon Shal Pesach. Why did the Mishnah single out the Shami Chagigah of Pesach? Why didn't it mention Shavuos and Sukkot? Also, you're obligated to bring a Shami Chagigah. Amar Rav Ashi Akamash Balan. The reason it singled it out is to teach me something. Chagigas Chamishar in Chagigas Arbasar lo. It's only because on Pesach there's an actual Chagigah that you bring on Yadal the day before Pesach, which you will bring along with the Korban Pesach, which you're supposed to eat in order that the Korban Pesach should be eaten ala sova when you're full. So you need something to eat. So Chagigas Chamisha Sar has to be Minachulin, but Arbasar does not, because really it's not really a chova, it's just that you have meat to eat, that you should be full when you're eating the Korban Pesach. Alma Kasavar, the top of Kadam Aleph, Chagigas Arbasar Labdo, Raisa, the Chiv to bring it is not really the Raisa, it's just the Rabbanan instituted it that you should eat the Korban Pesach ala Sova. We're going to stop here. The Gemara tomorrow is a little relevant to what I'm going to talk about in Ben Sion, but when we get there, we'll try to apply it to what I want to say today. Hope you enjoyed this year. We're still working on getting Shmuel to join me, have a little more fun during this year, but you know me. I'll make sure we have some more fun. Try to bring in some types of meats to show you what type of meat you should be eating when you bring your karbanos on Yom Tov. See you later. Bye.